Hey, how are you? Good to see ya. It is Monday all around the world, I guess, still. And whether it be the AM, PM, or whatever it is, good to see you. Thank you for tuning in. Hope those who had the holiday 4-day weekend, hope you had fun. I took some time off and it was great. Hello to everyone in the chat room. Good to see everyone. Boy, to see Josh. Hello. Susie Q. Good to see you. Barry. Hello. Al, how are you doing? Barry, peace. T. Witten, how do you doing? Material Classified. Joyce R., how are you doing? Brandy, you're a fine girl. Hello. Emerald Eagle, hello. Peter, good to see you, my friend. Sylvia, hello, good to see you. And Skyheart. Twisted Isby, peace. Love it, man. Squirrel, that's cool. Hey, Franny, saw you last night with the group over there with Milky Way and Messenger, I think it's now, and Brian. And folks, if you didn't get a chance, go over there and check that out. It was a good roundtable discussion. And these days, those sometimes are rare. So anyway, hello, Cajun Queen Tarot. Good to see you, formerly known as Warrior Queen. Hey, Kaz, how you doing? Got something I'm going to show, Kaz. You might want to take a look at. EO Alchemist, how you doing? Jessica, how are you doing? Well, I tell you what, great song by the Allman Brothers, Jessica. I'm hearing it right now. So thanks, Jessica, for the beautiful thought. Lost in Space, how you doing? And Pamela, hello, welcome. Robert, good to see you, my friend. Yeah, wow. Hope you had a good time. I did. Man, I got a chance to, I don't get a chance to do it more as often as like. I think I will do. Hello, Trust in Me. Good to see you. And Jenny, hello. Good to see you. And Timothy, good to see you. And Christy, hello. Eric, good to see you. What's up? A whole lot. I'm going to tell you what. Anyway, I love going up there because, it's where you really understand the elements. They sing, they talk, and there's nothing like walking among the pine trees and just listening to the winds and the way the spirit trees, how they gracefully move in rhythm with the air. And if you're fortunate, you can actually at times be there when the cloud deck begins to come down, and that's very cool. It really is. And so we're going to share a little bit more. It's a great time. You get into a meditative state, you can literally have out-of-body experiences sitting up next to a tree, and you tap into that energy of that tree and begin to allow that to flow through your consciousness, and it will carry you places. And so we're going to talk about that. How behind the eye we see. Good to see you. Robin, good to see you. Dancing on Waves. Hello, that's a cool one. So let me just invoke favor upon everybody. Got to do it. I mean, I think I may be the only place on YouTube where a person can come in to a group discussion and have the guy, the talking head, me, invoke favor upon you. I don't know you. I know a lot of the people in the chat room by name, but I just want to invoke favor upon you. You can never have enough favor, and may you find as well full restoration in your life. Nothing missing, nothing broken, and may there always be a river of prosperity flowing through you. Nothing missing, nothing broken. So, need to talk about this to the community. Someday tea is just so good. Our good friend Patrick, we all know and love, who is the co-host on the Talking with the Planets. Patrick's having some difficult time, and I want this community to come together in thought around our friend, and just think healing. And it's a subject that we don't like to talk about. When a loved one, a partner. There is a verse that says, two shall become one. And, it happens. It truly is. I know where my wife and I are concerned, we can speak telepathically. It's yeah. But in any case, Patrick has suffered a loss, and, his whole life has changed. And the quiet sometimes can be deafening. And so Patrick's going to take some time off. What most people don't understand about Talking with the Planets, we're dealing with celestial beings. They're powerful. That's all I can tell you. I know it sounds odd. I'm a very rational man. I try to look at things and, trying to seek that balance, the yin and the yang, but they are. And you reach out to them telepathically, and that's what all prayer is, by the way. Every person who lays or makes associate themselves with a religion, and they pray or worship whatever God that is, you do that by telepathic communication. And my contention is that with all these different gods, how absurd is it to think about the planets? The planets are in every one of the holy books that are out there. So anyway, Patrick, I told him he take some time. And, he's a precious, precious soul. All of us are. But there are those that, their abilities, what makes them up has that thing that, I happen to find unique. So, we're going to wish him well. And, the chair shall remain his. We've talked about it, and I have no doubt that many of us could do this, but I don't know, I guess it's like, having Kirk or Picard in the captain's seat, which one? I don't know. Like them both. And I also want to talk and speak healing to, there's so many in this community, and we are a community. We have very difference of views. The tentacles spread out into many different, as it should be. But so many amongst us are suffering with cancer. Those who have been given the diagnosis, those who are receiving the diagnosis, and those who are dealing with this abomination that attacks our bodies. As I wrote to Josh, his stepmother got to go to the doctor. They found something, and that interrupts everybody's lives. And we just speak healing to her. And as I wrote to Josh, consciously aware, everyone, I have no doubt they got the cure. There's just no profit in it. It's just the way it is. I haven't found any drug out there that claims to be a cure. It helps manage your disease. And remember, disease in its root origins means divided peace. Think about that one, eh? Yeah. And that's what it is. We've talked about this. Trina will be on, I think it's Wednesday, and we're going to have a good, delightful conversation. Talking to your DNA. How many of you talk to the genetic code that you carry? It's one of the greatest, I agree with you, Josh, one of the greatest things that you have. Talk about power. Wow, 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 wow. You are the only one that can speak to your genetic code. It's you. It's uniquely identified to you. Now, here's a question for all the free thinkers out there. Put your thinking caps on, all right? I'm going to talk to you on a very straightforward, matter-of-fact manner. Where does your consciousness reside? Now, question leading to the next comment. Are you not made up myself? Here's my hand, and there you go. And it's made up of cells, trillions of them. They each seem to have a very unique way of knowing where they need to be, how they need to fit into the structure. But the reality of it is, would not consciousness dwell in your cells? Where else would it dwell at? And if consciousness in a homogeneous conglomerate congealing matter of trillions of cells coming together, each within itself a life, how else would you define it? So where else would consciousness not dwell? Now, all of us humans, we shed tens of thousands of cells each day. You slough off your skin. All of us do. If you're, an avid shower taker and, use loofahs and everything else, that's why you have good, healthy skin. And there's a whole thing we could do on, the anomalies. But in essence, we slough off when you sleep. Here's a fun factoid. If your mattress is 10 years old or older, by the way, it's the cost of what a house used to cost in 1950 is what a mattress costs today. Your mattress, are you ready for this? Figure about 20 pounds you've added to it of your dead skin cells. And then when you start to think about all the creatures that are feeding off of those cells, anyway, weird reality, isn't it? But where would consciousness reside then? Think about that. It's amazing. So speak to your genetic code. That's where it comes down to. Your voice is unique to you. The way that, again, the cells are arranged. And the miraculous way that we connect, when you look at the interfaces that takes place from consciousness to speak to the body, that the body then has to take the syntax or the synapses of the thought into a neuron that then sends it through to the portion of the brain, then to the spinal area, to the nerves, to where voice is given, animation of voice, hands, inflection. Wow. Hey, we can heal ourselves. So anyway, boy, you think about that. It's just freaking far out, man. I don't care how you look at it. It's just far out. All right. So, yesterday, as I was doing my thing, I do a lot of things. And let me get over here. I've got several screens opened. I didn't want to do that, but I did want to do that. So let me just pull this up for everyone. So yesterday, I could see through the polarized lenses that I have, looking at the back of our vehicle, that the sun, and it was so freaking bright. Now, I want to show you what the camera saw. This is what the camera saw. There you go. It's a weird halo. You can obviously see the halo that goes around here. I want to draw your attention to this. This is what drew my eye. There was something up here. And if you look over here, and when I put this, and what I did here was just used Photoshop in this and just basically just adjusted gamma, saturations, vibrance, etc. And got no idea what this is. And what's really odd is that when you look at this, it's amazing how nature, with everything that's going on, how you can get weird anomalies, and you can see definitely, the skies were, as we like to say, chemmed up. But as you can see, it was very odd. I found it odd. Like I said, I do take a lot of these pictures. Come on. So give me 1 second. We'll try to do it manually. Or maybe we won't do it at all. Come on. All right. Let's move on. If it's going to be that way, we'll just stop the share and I'll get back to it. But anyway, it was, and I got a couple more. I don't know why it froze up the way it does, but hey, we adapt. Let me tell you what, that is the key. I had a good chance this over the strong end of the week to really learn how to begin to adapt to different environments. Here is another picture. Again, just strange things always around the sun. This is what the camera naturally saw. And then this is another picture. And whatever this is, it's not, it would look like, well, you could say, well, it's a lens flare. No, that's a lens flare right here. I don't know what that is. It's, and you can see to the eye, it just looks like there's a swirl of high level clouds. I live at almost 6,000 feet. So, hey, always take a look at the sky. I'm trying to work out to get Chris with Forbidden Knowledge on. And, always look up. That's what I'm saying. Make sure you always look up. Otherwise, you don't know what's coming down. And cheers. That's all I can say. It's got to admit, it's different. So on this channel, maybe the sun has a shadow. I'll tell you what, I have Age of Aquarius. Well, thank you. We are in the Age of Aquarius, by the way. And for all of you millennials, go back and listen to The Fifth Dimension, the Age of Aquarius, Marilyn McCoo. Oh, yeah, man. I'm telling you. Franny, that's one we need to put up into the chat room so that people can, and Marilyn's voice back. Yeah. Anyway, check it out. So, get distracted. On this channel, we discuss things. Some, not always the most, enjoyable. And then we get off into educational things, such as witchcraft. We're studying sigils. Listen, folks, I told you that this series would probably end up being over 100 episodes. And we're just getting into the sigils, and I get the emails. I'm a little behind on emails. So, folks, if you sent me in the last week, don't worry about it. I'll get to it. But overwhelming emails from people saying, this sigils, this is some serious stuff. Yeah, it is some serious stuff. I know. And it's everywhere. I'm convinced that, it's just my opinion, that whoever is responsible for us being here, I think a lot of that is how they keep in touch, so to speak. Sigil magic. Did you see, by the way, the comment that I found very interesting? And let me see what I did with that. Did I? I don't think I did. No. All right, here it is. So I'm looking at something in here. I'm trying to pull up. So give me 1 second. You know, it's what happens when you get these things. There we go. So several things. This is it right here. Yep, I'm driving and I am texting. Shouldn't be doing that, huh? But I am. I know. Don't send me anything. So did you check this out? Bill Gates. Now, this story is now starting to get, it's going viral. It came out yesterday on CNBC. You know, I tried to be as intellectually as honest as possible, no matter what we talk about. So get this, folks. Bill Gates says Steve Jobs was a master at casting spells to keep Apple from dying. Well, and what he went on to say was that Steve Jobs was a master at casting spells to keep Apple employees motivated and working long hours. I was like a minor wizard because he would be casting spells and I would see people mesmerized. But because I'm a minor wizard, I am not making this up. The spells don't work on me, said Gates, the world's second richest person. I mean, I'm just going to stop on that. I mean, what the freak do you want to say on that? This is not make-believe. This is not fake news. This is not hyperbole. This is the second richest man in the world using terminology and practices of magic. Don't tell me technology is just merely ones and zeros. Don't work that way, sweetheart. Suck it up, cupcake. It's time to start to put on the big boy britches. Yeah. You can go ahead and check the article out. You tell me. By the way, we talk about this quite often. Here's another one. This is the Telegraph. Holding a grudge can make you sick. Actually, there's a lot of old proverbs that says, I don't know, it says anger dries the bones. Yeah. Anyway, I digress. Here's something for all you guys out there. Nice guys do finish first. In fact, more of the opposite sex have found that when they find a mate, that, well, the person's nice, less ego. And then finally, I just want to, before we get into our subject matter, here again on, this is NBCnews.com, I find it more than just curious that what we discuss on this show as a community, as a group, inevitably finds itself into the headlines. And here we're talking about this. This is part of magic. It says we are living in a simulated universe. So if we find these so-called variables, right? Wow. I mean, the thing about with Gates, come on, folks. That is, I don't know. How do you want to define that? Out of the box thinking? We're using terminology, minor wizards. Now, I am a sorcerer. I admit that. It's just who I am. But a lot of you are too. There's a lot of witches in here, a lot of empaths, a lot of adepts. Yeah. The knowledge, the forbidden knowledge. We challenge ourselves. We don't stay stagnant. And if the real world that most are blind to is in fact run by wizards, witches, goddesses, gods, demigods, then I think we ought to begin to pay attention. I don't know about you, but if a minor wizard is a billionaire, then what the freak is wrong with us? Why are you broke? Why are you in debt? Oh, you've been told to reject magic, but yet the second, and I am sure the first as well, are all wizards. You want to argue with me on that? That's all I can say. And so you can bet we will double down on the study of magic. We will get into that magic that makes people billionaires, powerful. What's been kept from the masses. You get this kind of knowledge, your life is going to be forever changed. All right. So, cheers. Let's get into our subject matter for the day. This is for deep thinkers. So, when I was walking amongst the clouds, I want to start out with this. Opinion is really the lowest form of human knowledge. It requires no accountability, no understanding. The highest form of knowledge is empathy, for it requires us to suspend our egos and live in another's world. It requires profound purpose, larger than the self kind of understanding. Bill Bolyard. All right. Consider this. I'm talking to you, most likely only have 28,000 days of your existence here. Now, what does that total out? Well, it's about 77 years. Actually, it's about 76.7182, I believe, if you want to get technical. But getting back to the point, now there are others that will reach that plateau. Sad to say that we look at that as a plateau. If we only our bodies could enjoy it, that 36,000 mark, 36,000 days. Sadly, most will not. Even those that do, their bodies become in such a condition, they don't have the opportunity to enjoy that age. But for all of us, again, the average person, and many, sadly, much less, in this dimension. So that is a reality. So consider this. If the Creator, God, Source, the All, is the creator of all things and is in all things and all things are in it, then are we not, we all, the Creator? Inasmuch the Creator is of all things. So if the Creator is in me, I am of the Creator. The Creator is of me. I mean, it's we're all the same molecule structure. Maybe we're not. Maybe there is a level that would define the all. If we were to worship the Creator, would we not be, in essence, be worshiping ourselves? You're in me, I'm in you. Yeah, we're in each, yeah. So would the highest of all intelligence be to have a thing that it created worship it? I mean, folks, let's get real here. Oh, let's hear what our good friend Albert had to say. The intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant. We have created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift. We continue. All right. So we've defined now the all, the Creator, the Source, as being the height of intelligence. Now, by these parameters, we are dealing with then what has to be equated worship. And is a God the highest form of intelligence? I think that we're missing something here. Because as I will demonstrate to you, intelligence cannot be God, Creator, Source, the all. It gets deep here because intelligence, we have what we call an intelligent quotient test, IQ. That graph showed you. In fact, let's go back and look at that graph. It shows, interesting, about the average person has an IQ of 100. you have larger IQ scores, many of us here do, you can see how quickly we become in the minority. Now, the opposite is true, but the interesting thing is that we're finding the regression, or what we call the declining intelligent scores, are now becoming much greater, particularly in certain countries, the United States being one. But let's get back to this then. Intelligence. I'm sitting up there, looking out and just listening, and allowing myself to just simply blend in. And this question came to me. Is intelligence the sum total of what demands worship? We ask ourselves, well, how would you define then the highest of intelligences? Well, what would that look like? Not even AI has reached this. I don't know if it's possible in this finite dimension that we are in, that we call life. I don't know if this is possible. It gets more complicated because intelligence, by consciousness, reasoning, cognition. I mean, we could go all through the technical, medical, physiological terms of what intelligence is supposed to be defined as. And the question that I began to ask is there something yet that mankind, womankind, humanity, I don't think we got to stop calling it mankind. It's an insult. It should be the feminine, if anything, but anyway, humanity. Is there something that we have yet to perceive that exists beyond intelligence? I mean, think about it. People always, they use it in derogatory terms. You know, you're a dumbass. You know, you're dumber than dirt. Well, that would be an insult to dirt. I mean, we just go on. You know, what's a wind tunnel? Whispering in a blonde's ear. I mean, you know, we as a culture, we do these things because we're always measuring my intelligence against yours. Well, hell, I'm smarter than you. Well, you're just a dumbass. You know, you're stupid. You're an idiot. You're brilliant. You're a genius. You're an Einstein. You know, this is how the nomenclature of our speech goes. So that lends then to itself to the next question. Is intelligence connected to emotions? Can emotions exist outside of intelligence? And if so, is then emotions, is it a separate entity? What? I don't know. Maybe. All right. You can't answer that. Or maybe you have. I don't know. I can't see. So, the epitome of the highest intelligence, known as God, is nothing more than ego and narcissism. Seems to be the sum total. And this lends itself to be worshiped? Is Why? Why would intelligence even want this? It would be an insult to intelligence, even an intelligent being. I mean, do you worship yourself? How could you then worship something else? So, is this not how humanity defines God? As the highest form of intelligence? Let me see here. See, this used to be my Bible. This book right here, 42 years old. Older than most people listening. Not older as some of the rest of us, but the point is, this is what it told me. Thou shalt worship no other gods before me. Gave me a whole list. Says that I was not to question, was not to ask. Because, well, you can't put yourself at the same level of God. That would define then, by default, that it is the highest form of intelligence. If not, then what is it? If it lies beyond the realm of intelligence, then please tell us what that is. So does intelligence equal worship? Is this not finite? It gets scarier, folks. I mean, it really... Now, I was in a place where I was completely undistracted. My mind was keenly focused in what was taking place. This is what the conclusion is. Would this not then mean that this dimension is a closed-looped system? Now think about this. Everything that I have brought up to this point leads itself to this. There is nothing new in this dimension. This dimension is a closed loop system. Is it not written? That which was shall yet be again. There is nothing new under the sun that is not known to man. That which is shall yet be again. These sayings permeate all religious views, all theology. They are rewritten, respoken, retaught. To the annals of mankind. And if this is the case of the highest intelligence, and this is the dimension that we abide in, you show me where there is any momentum. Observing without judgment is the highest form of intelligence. Now, we just got into the whole point of asking that one question. Then, if by definition, that which is above is as below, that which within is without, there's nothing Even the tetrahedron is a closed loop system. How can that be defined as the ultimate intelligence? How? You know, this is not a place for the immature, those that are looking for entertainment. This is a place where we contemplate the serious questions of our existence. You know, we talk about karma. The fact that karma even exists is a closed loop system. I ask you honestly, then define to me what the highest form of intelligence is then. Because in this realm, I could not find an open circuit. All circuits were closed. And the toroidal field is a closed loop system. And if this is in fact what consciousness, matter, photons, electrons, atoms, molecules, cells are defined as, it's a closed loop system. From death, new life will emerge. As new life emerges, yet shall it die again. I mean, where's my alternative? I don't want just bucket A. How do I get out of it? What's the how do I get a circuit that gets me out of this toroidal field? Because by all evidence, by all beliefs, it's a circle. And I think that we're missing something here. I don't know what it is. My dreams these last couple of nights have been really weird. I'm someplace and I do my best to, but it's like I'm being blocked. But I can tell you, it's like I can smell the bread baking in the oven, you know? It's about life, folks. It's about something beyond mere intelligence. And this gets to that question then, is intelligence and consciousness two different worlds? Does consciousness exist outside of intelligence? And if it does, then what does that look like? How is it then defined? You know, the problem I have with magic, the reason why I don't perform much of it other than it's my own magic, I'm not going to bow down before or acknowledge another spirit above me. They may be more intelligent, more aged, seasoned, but I'm just as sovereign as they are. Why would any spirit or soul make itself indebted, worshiped, bowing down before acknowledging another spirit? I'm not afraid of magic. I'm not afraid of any evil or good. If that's the paradigm that you're in, well, I hate to tell you, it carries over. Maybe, just maybe, and it's spreading. There are those of humanity who are saying, I don't want any of this anymore. There has to be something above intelligence. There has to be something greater than that which my conscious mind has the ability to comprehend at this point. If consciousness is a tangible substance, and if consciousness transcends all forms of existence, then is it required to be intelligent? Go ahead and improve April's comment. I love that. By the way, hello, April. Good to see you. So, folks, yeah, this is why we have to get into this. Listen, if, again, the richest people in the world are wizards, even those who say they got their wealth because their God blessed them are wizards. Priest, high priestesses, witches. We're going to continue with conjuring. We're going to deal tomorrow with the whole subject of familiar spirits. But we have to get through this discussion here. We have to begin to establish then, what are we dealing with? You see, I've never heard it taught that, well, wait a minute, intelligence and consciousness and spirituality, well, they're separate things. Okay, I can dig that. So which one do we focus on as the anchor, the cornerstone, so to speak? And as I look into the chat room, just scanning it, a myriad of different points of view. It's like looking at the stars at night. Millions of points of view. But they all exist. They all have the ability of coexisting. And I think that's the next step. So we're going to learn the magic. We're going to take control of the magic. Now, let me tell you something. I do absolutely believe that this hierarchy exists. That I do believe. I don't have any problem with that reality. What I have a problem with is this. I am not Jewish. I have no desire to be Jewish. I have no desire to be any claim to an Abrahamic cult belief system and the Abrahamic gods and the demigods. They're just one of billions. Now, do they exist? I don't think it really matters. The fact that humanity worships them makes them real. And that taught me another lesson. So, does intelligence demand worship? Or does worship demand intelligence? It's servitude, no matter how you look at it. It's just who's serving who. You know, they all taste like chicken. So we're going to finish this out because I think it's important that we also look at what we've taught by, when I did the lesson on the Kabbalion, this is the 7 principles is what I would say is potentially the alternative to this limiting concept of a highest intelligence. Mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, ginger. Mentalism, the all is mind, the universe is mental. Thoughts lead to the manifestation of things and events. Thoughts create our state of existence and the quality of our experience here on earth. Therefore, be responsible for everything you create by being responsible for everything you think. This is why when people write me and ask me for counseling, I tell them you have to rid yourself of this servant God mentality. Correspondence. That which is above is that which is below. That which is below is that which is above. The microcosm, the very large, the totality, and the microcosm, the very small, and the individual units which comprise the whole. The cell, where does consciousness abide in? How does it reside within the molecule structure? They are reflections of each other. The universe is holographic. It is self-similar across all scales. Could it be, ladies and gentlemen, that we are all creating our own simulated realities, intermixing in a pool of many other realities? Vibration. Nothing rests. Everything moves. Everything vibrates. At the most fundamental level, the universe and everything which comprises it is pure vibratory energy manifesting itself in different ways. The universe has no, you ready for this? Solidity. As such, matter is merely energy in a state of vibration. Polarity. Everything is dual. Everything has poles. Everything has its pairs of opposites. Opposites are identical in nature, but different in degrees. Extremes meet. All paradoxes may be reconciled. The yin and the yang. It is what we are. Rhythm. Everything flows out and in. Everything has its tides. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm speaking to someone specifically on this. Listen to me, sweetheart. The pendulum will always swing back. It cannot stay in a perpetual state of non-motion. Everything swings back. All things rise and fall. The pendulum swing manifests itself in everything. The measure of the swing to the right is the measure of the swing to the left. Rhythm compensates. That's why I invoke favor. When I talk about full restoration, nothing missing, nothing broken, many of you have been stolen from, and you're going to be shocked to find out it's you who's the thief. Cause and effect. The plane of effects. This is where manifested realities have formed due to their underlying causes. The plane of effects constitutes that which has already occurred. As such, no power to affect change lies here, because that which has already occurred cannot unoccur. It has become that which is truth. Human consciousness seems to be trapped upon the plane of effects, meaning that humanity as a whole remains ignorant of the underlying causes which they themselves set into motion and which lead to self-inflicting suffering in their lives. Gender. Mental gender is the state of coexistence between masculine and feminine aspects of the human mind. Our left brain hemisphere largely facilitates the masculine aspect of the mind, or intellect, logic, analytical, linear thought processes, while the right brain hemisphere largely facilitates the feminine aspect, or intuition, creative, compassionate, and holistic thought process. This leads us to the principles of the natural law. Natural law is expressed through 7 basic underlying principles, plus the 8th principle, which binds the other 7 together. These principles constitute a master key through which universal wisdom, non-intellect, including the knowledge of the requirements to obtain what we desire, is unveiled or de-occulted. Now, I've gone over a little bit. I apologize for that, but there was more to that, by the way. In fact, I'll probably get into the second half of that tomorrow when we get into the familiar spirits. But this is what I'm talking about. And it allows the freedom. Listen, folks, someone asked me, I met, and they actually had heard my podcast, and they said, you know, what makes you unique? And I said, yeah. They said, you teach about departure. I said, yeah. And they said, no, you don't get it. There's people that teach about death, but you teach about departure. And the couple was saying that it's revolutionized their lives. Their children are happier. They're happier. And, you know, it's a very humbling thing. You just say thank you. But thank you, Al. Oh, y'all are too sweet. So anyway, I mean, folks, this is real stuff, man. I mean, listen, one day all of this is going to end. We're not going to be able to meet anymore. I mean, there's those amongst us who are leaving already. They're departing. And we're here to do things that haven't been done before. We're here to create magic that has not been seen before, other than on Hollywood. And they were just trying to plant the seed to say, hey, all things are possible to those who believe. Oh, I didn't say that. This cat called Jesus said that. Nothing is impossible to those who believe. Nothing. Magic, folks. Magic. All right. Peace be to you. Thank you. Favor be upon you. Thank you for just being so kind and sharing your energy. We got a great family here, a community that's growing, and, you know, it's a place where, well, we just continue to grow. And, you know, to let you know, I keep my special things. I love this collar. This is the sigil that ours actually was made. So there we go. Hope it was at least thought-provoking, and your hour was hopefully well spent. Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow at the same time. I appreciate you all. All right. Bye-bye.